Hey guys, welcome to another edition of the Suburban Driving with Miranda. As you can see, I'm not the warmest today. Toque season has arrived. It's super windy today and has been this entire week actually that I've had the 2020 GMC Acadia AT4. However, this is not a weather program, this is a car program. So let's get behind the wheel and see what this car has to offer. Welcome to the 2020 GMC Acadia AT4. It's a big mouthful, lots of letters. What is it? It is a big SUV. So I'll start with the numbers right away. The base price on this thing is about $47,000. As it is right here, it's just around $51,000. Again, this is a big car. So it doesn't have a third row, but it has a massive trunk. And it also has a big engine, so it has a 3.6 liter V6. It's good for 310 horsepower and 271 pound-foot of torque. Do I feel it? Yeah, because it pulls well for a vehicle this size. Do I feel it at the pumps? Also yes, because I'm averaging 11.8 liters per 100 kilometers right now. And I really honestly did nothing but highway this week, apart from driving my son to school once or twice, and then having to go much further downtown because we had a health scare with him, but he's good, we're fine, it's all good. It really sat parked for a couple days because he was home recovering and I was with him. So it's a little intense for that side of things, but you're looking at, again, a really big car. So much room in here. I love how comfortable this vehicle is. And that's kind of a common theme with these bigger vehicles. You know, you've got the really nice kind of yacht boat-like suspension that you get to enjoy unless it's heavily loaded. You know, it's just me in here right now. I don't even have the kid anymore, and I've got nothing in the trunk, so it feels very floaty. But you can imagine if you really load this thing up, as the suspension starts to compress, it tightens up a little bit, but it's still going to feel just as comfortable, which I really like. In terms of how it drives, again, big car, turns heavy, accelerates heavy, brakes heavy. You know, you have to take into account that this is not a small sedan. If you're slamming on the brakes suddenly, it takes a little bit longer for it to come to a stop. You need a little bit more space, and you really need to mash that throttle. Sorry, not the throttle, mash the brake if you're stopping. I think it's time for me to get coffee. You know what I mean. But otherwise, it's super comfortable. Like I said, I spent enough time in the car, and my son as well. When we had to go to the hospital, it's quite a drive. You know, it's a good 40 minutes, 45 minutes, and I was trying to take it as slow as I could because it was his tummy that was the most upset. So, and it's a media car, so we don't want any accidents in the back seats. And he, despite all of that, he quite enjoyed it as well. And he had a ton of room back there. He has his own armrest. When it comes to interior amenities in this vehicle, it's pretty plain and pretty straightforward. And just like I said with the Mazdas, I like that because it's that kind of keep it simple, stupid mentality, which sounds terrible, but it's actually a really good motto to follow. I mean, I love the center stack. I'm quite fond of the Uconnect system. Apple CarPlay hooks up immediately. I've got a really nice pocket down here for my phone. There is no charge pad, but there is a USB cable plus an SD card and another charge port. There's ports in the armrest. There is one or two in the second row, I believe. And honestly, that trunk, I was shocked. I opened up the back and it is huge. Now, I think, and I may be wrong on this, I'm just gonna say it without checking the facts because that's how I roll and I'm wild like that. Pretty sure you can order the Acadia with a third row. This one does not have it because there's no way that that trunk is that large without offering the option to have seats back there. And this one does not, it's just full trunk. So if you know you need all that space to carry whatever it is that you carry, this is the car for you. So for all the good that this vehicle has, and really honestly it does, and anybody who knows me and has followed me over the years, first of all, thank you. You know that I am not a huge fan of American cars. Just how the cookie crumbles, I tend to find them boring to drive, not that well put together. I don't like their designs. I don't like their interiors. I'll just stop right there. But I like this car. I think that for the money you're putting forward, everything that you're getting back from it, you're not going to be disappointed when you get behind the wheel. You're not going to be like, oh, I spent blah, 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 and I'm missing this, 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 and this, because you're not. You actually get it all. That aside, I'm going to bring up the thing that I hate the most. And you've heard me say it a couple weeks ago. This thing has the button shifter. So it doesn't have a shift knob. It just has a button for park, a toggle for reverse, a button for neutral, a toggle for drive, and then you've got your lower gears and higher gears for when you tow, if and when you tow. I don't know why it's okay to get rid of the shift knob. I really don't. I mean, at least they're not buttons up by the steering wheel, which I don't know, I feel is worse. But down here by the HVAC, I don't know. It just completely throws me off, and I hate. It sounds really petty and wah, but like I have nowhere to rest my hand when I'm driving, and I feel really like off center. Like normally I would put my hand on the shifter, and it's comfortable there. And now I have no shifter to rest on, and I forgot my water bottle, so I do not have that today either. So I'm all thrown off now, and it all has to do with those shift buttons. I don't like them. Am I a huge fan of the way the 2020 GMC Acadia AT4 looks from the outside? Can't say that I am. This is not the style of SUV that catches my eye. I find it very boxy, super plain. I mean, the silver color isn't helping it. But you know what? It is an SUV, and this is what they were born and bred to be years ago, and they all had this kind of squared off back end and very squared hood. Nothing was very sleek or dynamic about them, and that kind of, this reminds me of those SUVs of days gone by. Is it a good thing? I think for some it might be. You know, this has a classic look to it. One of the best things about the exterior of this car, and it's not even the design element, it's more of a technological element, and it's super hard to catch on camera, so unfortunately I won't be able to show you, but I could tell you that it has the kick opener on the trunk. So you wave your foot underneath the rear bumper and the tailgate will come up, and that is to help you if you have your arms full of groceries. However, on any other SUV before the GMC started doing this, you kind of had to guess where the sensor was, and you look like a bit of a moron waving one leg underneath the rear of your bumper in the hopes that it would catch. However, GM displays GMC on the ground, a little light, ambient light that goes onto the pavement, so you know exactly where the sensor is, and it really, helps to expedite the process of opening the tailgate. Again, that has absolutely nothing to do with the exterior look, but for me, that is the most exciting exterior feature on this 2020 Acadia. All right, guys, thanks so much for joining me this week, checking out the 2020 GMC Acadia AT4. I promise you the coming week, I have something much faster. Pretty cool. You're not going to want to miss it. As always, if you have any questions, concerns, or comments, you can hit me up at Miss Miranda L on Instagram and Twitter, or Miranda Lightstone on Facebook.com, or drop a comment below on the Suburban On Air page. Thanks again, guys, and see you next Friday.